all the adults start getting into the hot tub naked. And I was having this like, what do I fucking do? Do I do it? Do I go in the hot tub naked? I had never been in a hot tub naked with adults. The gray area just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like the initial request was like, can I go to this party? Next thing you know, I'm now at this legit full-on poly party. Our commitment was when he allowed me the space to go have my own girlfriend, that we had a group meeting with her and we were like, what is our intention of dating? And we said, our intention is to enhance our relationship from bringing this third person in. And we asked her, like, what's your intention? And she's like, I want to manifest my life partner. And so we created this intention and we said a little, said some words and did a little aho and closed it out. And then, that set the foundation for the context that this relationship I would have with her would be inside of, right? So there was my husband was not concerned, like, I'm going to go leave him for this woman, right? Because she, it was clear, everyone's intentions were clear. It was just to add value to each other's lives, not to take away. And if it ever got to a point where it felt like it was not enhancing the relationship, we agreed that we would come have a team meeting, discuss either pivot or cease and desist, right?
Wow.
So the interesting thing, we continued going to some sex parties, and then my husband went out of town on a work trip, and a friend of ours that's poly, like a poly burner guy, reached out to me, invited me to this party in LA at this Kindra dating app party. I had no idea what it was. Again, didn't like look it up, didn't think to like do my research. I just like called my husband. I'm like, yo, our poly friend Chris like called me, invited me to, this event. Austin was like, my husband, he's like, you should go have fun. Like, I'm not home. I'm in international right now. Like, go have a great time. I'm like, but it's probably going to be like a lot of poly people and you're not there. And like, he's like, it's okay. Just go. So I go to this party. I arrive. Did not realize it was a poly specific, like very specifically a poly party. I thought just my friend that invited me was poly. No, it was. They literally get to they're like, so do you want a red light or a green light? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, green light means you're like ready, if you're ready to flirt, and red light means like don't flirt with me. I'm like, I am gonna take a red light, even though my pussy was like, take the green light, girl, take the green light. And I'm like, no, I can't process this, and it's now like too late to call my husband to create this for him. So I was like, we're gonna have to.
We're going to red light it.
We're going to red light it, but we're here, which is a big deal. And I don't think that my husband realized what kind of party it was either, but that man is amazing. So also they were late. They were an hour late. So I put my red light on. I can't find them. I go back in my car. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. I'm not going to be in this party by myself. The friends are late. So I like to rap something that it's like, I would put that if I was like on a dating app, I'd be like, I'm a rapper. That'd be like what I would say. Like when my friends are late to clubs, I go in my car and I rap battle myself. So I did that. I just like wanted to release some stress. So I was like freestyle rapping in the car about my friends being
late. Do you remember
late.
like any line at all that you just like want to throw out and like, or
no, but I would be happy to like spit some lines from like Cardi B's Wet Ass Pussy from you at the end of this interview.
Okay, perfect. We'll do that.
Okay. Just remind me. But so I finish rapping. I get the call from Chris like, yo, we're here in the party. Like, where are you? I'm like, I'm with here, but I need to come back inside because I'm in my car. So they're like, well, we're in. Come. So I'm like, all right, great. So I go inside and I'm like, so nervous because I was like, what? I've never been in an open environment without my husband outside of like just dating a woman, right? So it was a big deal for me to choose to go in there. But I luckily felt familiar with the environment that I was walking into. So I went in there just like laser confident. And Chris was there and welcomed me in and all these friends. Right? Oh, meet this person. And everyone's like, hey, and hi. And like the most amazing, delicious people. And I started to have fun. And then they offered some jolly medicine. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this with these people. And then he introduced me to this other group of people there who are now some of my best friends to this day and my husband's best friends to this day. So was really cool. I then got invited to an after party One of the friends that we have there is this like really awesome Israeli man. He's like, "Hey, after party at my place," and then so I was like, "Okay." And actually, funny story, his wife is one of my besties and current lovers. She's one of my main female lovers. But at the time, I didn't know her. And when we walked into the after party house, everyone was like, "Shh, be quiet. The wife is sleeping and she can be a little mean." And so I was like afraid of this like person. So funny because now she's one of my best friends and one of my lovers. But nonetheless, all the adults start getting into the hot tub naked. And I was having this like, what do I fucking do? Like, do I do it? Do I go in the hot tub naked? I had never been in a hot tub naked with adults. And now it just kept getting like the gray area just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like the initial request was like, can I go to this party with our poly friend Chris? Next thing you know, I'm now at this legit full on poly party. There is, we're doing drugs. We're now going to an after party. Like none of this was in the initial request, but I had to just be intuitive and be like, not worried that my partner was going to be mad at me and actually just live that present moment because there was something for me to learn. And there certainly was. And it literally like created the way we do poly now. So that was like the most pivotal like night out for me alone, like inside of the direction that our relationship took in terms of how we are poly. But I end up getting in the hot tub. Yeah. I'm in the hot tub. I'm like sitting on this guy's lap. Where I was like, it was so hot. There was like 8 adults all naked in this hot tub and like people just talking and it's like kind of sexy, but it's not like sex. But then I felt like I needed to remove myself. I was in there for like 15 minutes. I was like, I need to pull out. I need like some heavy emotion was coming up for me. And I might get a little choked up as I'm sharing this just because it's like so incredibly impactful. But I walked inside of the house and I saw this woman who had golden braids and I had met her at the party earlier. And I was like, she looks like the person I need to talk to. Like she just looks like she would get it. And I go up to her and I started bawling my eyes out. And I was just like, how is this real life? Like, how do I explain this to my husband? You guys are friends? Like, and you do this? And I don't know. I don't understand. Like, how am I supposed to explain this to him? And literally she just sat with me for like 2 hours while I sobbed my eyes out and cried. What's so crazy about this is as I'm sharing this story with you, that woman, she's actually in my house right now here today, which is like, I didn't know I was going to be sharing this story. She's one of my best friends. She started to raise like a mentor and she's one of my best friends. She's my family. She's like core tribe. And she's actually here at my house today. So this is cool to be able to share it because it's just so full circle of just like, I feel like the relationships that I've made have allowed me to create this poly family that is my, my forever crew. And she just, that night though, when I was crying with her, she just sat with me and pet my head and just was like, as I cried. She was like, and she would just pet me and be like, and I'm like, and then this, like, how do I share it? Yeah. But what I got from that was that if I went back to my partner the next day and shared from shame, he probably would have gotten really mad at me. Like I would have created like, right, sharing, when we share our shame, that person is they're like, okay, right? But when we share our joy, so what I did is shared my joy. The next day, I called my husband. I was like, babe, I just met the fucking most amazing people that are like, they're going to love them. And they're hosting a play party next weekend. The owner of the house that we went to the after party out actually had a play party scheduled for the next weekend. So it was the perfect opportunity to just invite my husband, go, and he could meet all these people almost at the exact same time I did, right? Like a week later, which was a big concern for me, right? Like when we separate and go out and do our own thing, it's like, if we make friends, right? How do you link your partner in after that friendship? So basically we just had the most epic conversation where I shared my joy with him. I was like, this was the most amazing group of people. They have a play party next week and you can meet all of them and you're going to love them. And I started telling him people's names and the names of people and who they were, and just really making him feel like he was a part of that experience with me.
Mm-hmm.
He was so excited. He was like, I can't wait to meet these people. So a distinction there that I want to just bring up to support your listeners as well is sometimes there's gray areas and we don't realize we're in the gray area till we're in it. And then it's like, shit, how do I talk about this? Like, did I just cheat? Or like, cause for me going in the hot tub naked, I felt like I cheated on my husband.
Right.
I didn't, but that was what the experience was, because it was like, how do I talk about this in a healthy way? And so when you align with your joy and you're connected to it, then when you share it, energy is energy. Like that is going to be greeted with, hopefully the person's not a narcissist and gonna like get jealous or whatever, but they're like, hopefully that joy will be met with, wow, I'm so happy for you. You brought up the word compersion, right? When we have joy for other people's joy, there is a contagious energy to joy. And it's very important that, we be responsible for sharing from it. And just to clarify this, I did end up sharing with my husband about the being naked in the hot tub incident, but not until COVID. We were at a dinner table with a group of friends and like funny poly stories were coming up. And I had one that my husband had never heard, which was about my whole inner conflict of getting into this hot tub naked with adults. And it was so perfect timing of when I did share this with him several years after that, because he was laughing so hard at the table. He was just like, I never knew that. And I was like, well, because it felt weird to share in that moment, because there was like some unclear energy around it. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you the joy from that. And he's like, well, babe, I'm kind of glad you didn't tell me back then. That was a good call. He's like, I don't know how that would have landed. I might have been weirded out,
Yeah.
So that was sort of the beginning, right? And from that point on, he did come with me to my first play party. So we talk a lot about the distinction between sex parties and play parties on our show. And so just earlier we talked about polyfuckery. You'll definitely find that in more of a sex party or swinging party environment. Whereas at a play party, like, this doesn't cost money. It's community, it's friends of friends, it's community, and there's play and there's sex and all of that good stuff. And maybe usually like an intention circle or some sort of like ritualistic component to it. And so we went to that together. And of course he like instantly bonded with like the woman in the golden braids and all the people that I made core friendships with the weekend before. And he's like, fell in love with these people. And these are some of our best friends and this is our community. And so that sort of changed the trajectory for us. Like, I don't know if we hadn't met community, I don't know how the cards would have unfolded for us.
I'm glad that you're enjoying Open Late Podcast in this way. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss one. And check out this next video for more tips, insights, and my expertise on non-monogamy and polyamory. If you want full episodes, you can find them wherever you download your podcasts.